Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're doing another video about another character within Apex Legends that could do with a buff that would put them into the meta of the game. Now last time on this series I covered Mirage and a few changes that would propel him from a C or B tier legend all the way up to a potentially S tier legend. And today we're going to be doing the same with Crypto. Now Crypto is a legend that I love to play, especially in ranked. This split, having a Crypto on the team is so vital. I've really started to push on up through Platinum using Crypto, so I've really been enjoying him as he currently is. And honestly, these changes would just push a legend that's already sort of B tier, ultimately I think, to S tier. Crypto is very much not in the meta. He's not being picked as much now. When Revenant got his update, everyone was playing Wraith, Revenant and Crypto, but that seems to have slightly fallen to the side the longer I've been playing ranked, and Crypto is still one of the least picked legends in Apex Legends, and these three changes would make him, I think, more enticing to pick, because all of Crypto's abilities revolve around his drone, and when his drone's been destroyed, it's like having a character with no abilities. So what I'm trying to do here with these three relatively small changes is to make him able to combat some other legends with abilities that aren't able to be combated, and also give him some unique shape to his character. And the first change I would love to see for Crypto is that he can see teams nearby when not in his drone. Now when in drone mode, if Crypto looks at a banner, it shows how many teams are in range of the drone, but I believe that all the time he should be able to see this information. If just walking around looking at a banner, it should do the proximity effect with how far away people are from him rather than the drone, as the drone is technically still on his back. So I believe that his drone should always be working in that facet and should be always able to update you how many teams are in the area. It's essential information, and having to get the drone out every single time to do something to just straight away put it back away can be a little bit frustrating when you could just have that information always there, because sometimes I just take out the drone, get that information, put it away, and it feels like wasted time. So I believe that would be a great small change that would really impact the team, because all you'd have to do is glance at the banners and then relay it to your team. It just speeds up the passing of information. The next change, I believe, is that with his ultimate EMP, it should do damage to health as well. It was sort of, his ultimate works in a similar way to an arc star, where it stuns you and hits you for a certain amount of damage. Obviously it's less powerful than an arc star, but covers more area. I think that if players are without their shields, they should still be affected on their health bar by a Crypto drone. There have been times where I've been in a building without shields, and then someone tries to Crypto drone me, and I just wait for the EMP to finish and then start my healing. There's a couple of ways to counter a Crypto EMP, such as doing that, or being a Wraith player and using the phase. So I think a buff to his ultimate would be that, really. And if that became too powerful, maybe slightly extending the cooldown on it, but I think his ultimate's in a good place in terms of cooldown, so I would just make it so if their shields are completely gone, it goes to health bar as well, like an arc star does, because I think at the moment his ultimate isn't super powerful. It is in really coordinated pushes, but you really have to coordinate those pushes. I don't know if I'd make it so you can actually down someone with the ultimate, because I think that would be maybe too strong considering the stun effect it has on you. Maybe the lowest you can get someone down to is 1 HP, but it doesn't down people, because that would, I believe, be too strong, because you could just third party so easily with the drone and pick off people who are extremely weak, and I think that would be too strong, because even with Gibraltar and Bangalore and Caustic's ultimates, which do damage, there's a noticeability to them. There's a smallness to the radius, and if the radius is big, it takes quite some time to get there, whereas Crypto's EMP is very quick and you can't escape from it if you're in a gunfight. So if that was to be the case, he's not allowed to down people. The next change that I would make to Crypto is when Bloodhound scans, it does not pick up cryptos. There has never been a counter to the Bloodhound scan, and I've always been waiting for maybe a sneaky character to come in who can avoid it. I thought Loba might get the ability because of her, sneakiness and her sort of keeping under the radar, but it would make sense to put it with Crypto. He's off the grid, and Bloodhound is scanning it, and maybe his footsteps aren't traced either in the same way that Bloodhound can. It would mean that Cryptos can outrun Bloodhounds like no other character can, because Bloodhounds, when they're chasing down people, it's impossible to get away, and if you have a Crypto on your team, it gives him a really good ability to counteract Bloodhound, because in a way Apex is kind of like chess, where a lot of the characters counter each other, but there's never really been a counter for Bloodhound's abilities. Everyone just sort of has to use their own abilities as a counter, whereas this would actually create an active counter to Bloodhound. And when you Bloodhound scan, if you see only 2 enemies in the scan, and it's it could be a team of 3, you could either assume they have a Crypto, or it would make you just a little bit more wary when doing your scan, because Bloodhound scans are completely foolproof. You scan forward, it picks up people. And this change would just slightly change the meta, because Bloodhound is really strong at the minute. Bloodhound is being used all the time in ranked, and I believe this would slightly change the meta, because Crypto isn't used anywhere near as much as Bloodhound, and it might just have a bit of a shift across for the recon characters. Crypto is quite good friends with Mirage, so the idea of an ability that cloaks or makes invisible, they could be working together on that, and that'd be something quite cool to explore in the lore, their relationship. And that quite neatly ties into my 4th and final change that I would give to Crypto to make him meta, and that is when you go out of the dropship. One of his voice lines when you immediately come out of the dropship is that he says, "I'm going to keep us under the radar," and that spiked an idea in my head that maybe when Crypto comes out of the dropship, he can have maybe a 10-second window at his own choosing. Maybe you press LB to do this, and it cloaks your team out of the dropship so that you are invisible, so people cannot see where you're landing. Maybe keep the sound on so they can hear you, but this would be really good for if you're landing in a contested area, so that the enemy team don't know what building you've landed in. And again, Crypto's relationship with Mirage is very interesting, so you could imagine maybe they've been working on this ability together, so it would actually be, in the lore, quite a natural progression for Crypto. Mirage has obviously got his decoys that he can shoot out from the dropship, which have only been getting stronger. At first it was just him, and now he can shoot out his entire team as decoys. Crypto, can you imagine if he could cloak his entire team? Because when he says, "I'm going to keep you under the radar," there is nothing under the radar about the drop. It's just like any normal drop. So I think this would be a really strong change, because you're landing in an area, say it's ranked and you're landing in Lava City, which is traditionally quite a quiet spot to land. If one team's landed on one side of it, and they think they're landed uncontested, but you've landed in a building or 2 away from them, they're not going to know you're there until they start to hear your footsteps, and they might be questioning, wait, I didn't see a team landing here. It would put everyone a little bit more on edge about their landings, because you've always got to be wary of a Crypto team there. And I think that's what Crypto's always kind of meant to be, that under the radar, sneaky character that you don't always know where they are. That's why when you get drone EMP'd, it's so strong, because you don't know where the Crypto is. And I think it would be so strong, just because you would have the upper hand in opening gunfights. And Crypto's abilities are quite weak for him personally. He's very team oriented, and anything that can give Crypto an edge in an early gunfight I think is a good thing, because every character's got their abilities. Like Caustic can trap up buildings if you're in a pinch, Gibby's got his gun shield, Wraith can just phase, Pathfinder can grapple out. Everyone's got abilities that can allow them to escape those early fights, but Crypto's really got nothing. Maybe a lifeline as well, but even she's got her health drone if she can find a safe spot to heal up. It's just Crypto really who has no abilities to get him out of a gunfight early, and having the ability to drop somewhere safe as a team would be really strong. The only way that I would believe this would be balanced if it was a 10-second duration, so the Crypto has to choose when that starts, and you'd have to time it quite rightly with your landing, so there would be a bit of skill with it. And also it only cloaks teammates that are with you during the drop. So if you're the jump master and one of your teammates split off, they will no longer be cloaked, because otherwise it would be, you know, crazy if all 3 people could just split off and all be cloaked and invisible drop. But I think for crypto it would be great, and it would have to cover up dive trails. So if this was played in like an Apex Predator lobby, then it would also cover the red dive trails, because otherwise it would just be so obvious even where you're landing, even if it's covering up the character. So it would have to cover all of it. But I would love to know what you think of these changes. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch along with me today and have a chat about crypto. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I think he's in a really great spot currently at the moment. These changes would just propel his use of the character even higher. People would pick him more, and I think would have even more fun. And it would be a good balance and counteract to some of the other legends in the game. Let me know what you think about these in the comments below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video.